Hello and welcome to the Co-Regulation in Action video series, a collection of videos to help jumpstart your use of co-regulation strategies with youth. In this video, we focus on the co-regulation strategy group agreements. Let's start with a quick definition. A group agreement is a strategy for setting group norms that can endure over time, where students share ideas to shape and define the group culture.
This helps to create a safe learning environment where students feel comfortable taking positive risks. For example, practicing self-regulation skills might feel unfamiliar. In this video, we talk about two components of group agreements: establishing the values of the group and identifying how to use the agreement during the program.
Group agreements identify the values that youth would like the group to uphold. It's very important that the students are creators of the agreement, so they feel ownership of it. If they don't, it's just another set of rules an adult made that's being imposed on them. To help students think through the values they'd like to include, you can introduce the group agreement by saying something like, think about the relationships that you're in with family, friends, or someone you're dating. What about a healthy relationship makes you feel safe or good about yourself? We want our class to be like that. Outside in the world, there's a lot we can't control, but in here in this class, we get to decide what class will be like and how we'll treat each other.
It's possible your students have never been asked before what they'd like their classroom environment to be like, and you may want to have some follow-up questions in mind to help them think it through. What values are important to them in their relationships? What makes them feel like they can trust someone? What makes them feel like someone appreciates them, has their back, or is really listening to them?
It's important that group agreements include what values look like in practice, such as speaking one at a time, listening to understand, being honest, being non-judgmental, and having the right to choose whether to engage or to pass. Let's go over an example of what this looks like.
Okay, so you just suggested we include respect as a group agreement. Tell me more about respect. What does this look like to you? What do you do to show someone else respect? What can someone do to show that they respect you?
Here, we saw the facilitator push the students to unpack what respect can look like in action. This can help the group uncover important differences. For instance, in some cultures, shaking hands with someone you just met is considered a respectful greeting.
In other cultures, the same action, touching someone you just met, is considered deeply disrespectful. The point isn't to debate which perspective is right, but as a group to uncover where those differences may be in order to create awareness and understanding.
After the students have come up with a list of values and practices of their own, ask them about adding anything you might think is important but still missing. It can be helpful to think about this ahead of time, so you have a list of core values in the back of your mind. For instance, confidentiality is an important practice that students don't often think to include, and facilitators can ask about. Also, your contribution is important because it shows you're an equal member of the group agreement. So try to add something of your own, even if it's just have fun. Here's what an example of this could look like.
I'm loving the values you're suggesting. As part of the group, would it be okay if I shared a value? I really think it's important to be open to new ideas and opinions. Do you all agree with that? Okay, great. Tell me what that might look like for you.
Once you have finalized your group agreement, have students commit to the agreement in an observable way. You could do this by having the students get up and sign the agreement, or by raising their hands to vote on its adoption. The group agreement is not adopted until everyone agrees to its contents.
Finally, you need to discuss how the group will implement the agreement and hold each other accountable. Be sure to include action steps for accountability. You can also keep it simple and leave the agreement in a prominent place, referring youth back to it as needed.
For example, during class, you could refer back to the group agreements by saying, hey, remember we all agreed that respect looks like not interrupting. Do we need to expand it to include listening quietly?
To wrap up, here's a quick recap for group agreements. This strategy helps to establish positive relationships with youth and create a safe, supportive environment. Have youth identify values they would like the group to uphold. Have youth identify what the values look like in practice. Develop a system for holding the group accountable to the agreement. Thanks for watching. We hope you are walking away with some new ideas to try out with your program and youth. Don't forget to explore other co-regulation in action videos, and remember to download the tip sheet for more group agreement practices.